When employees are or team members are happy, they end up enjoying what they do. And with high enjoyment comes high engagement. High engagement leads to high productivity, which in turn leads to a satisfied customer, stakeholder, and shareholders. But the crux of the matter, the important question is, how do you create happiness? Well, is happiness dependent on the annual offsite or the quarterly party? Well, those certainly help, but by themselves, they can't create and generate sustained happiness. Sustained happiness is more got to do with things which are intrinsic to the team member and the employees. And I want to share with you a few questions and few things that you need to know as a leader, which can actually drive this intrinsic happiness. Number one, know the names of your team members. You're probably saying, hey Rajiv, come on, give me a break. I thought you were going to say something much more important than saying something as basic as knowing the names of your team members. Hey, but the reality is, and there's enough research, that most leaders don't know all the names of their team members. And when you throw in extended teams, the percentage of the names that they know actually shrinks down. Right? It's said that there's nothing more sweeter than the sound of one's name being called out by somebody else. And therefore, it's very important that you know the names of your team members. For some of us, it comes easy, right? Knowing names, remembering names, a name to a face, well, it happens easily. But for most of us, it isn't so easy. But nothing to stop us from putting the effort and making the effort. Because when you know the name of your employees or your team members, your team member feels special. And I think it's so important to know that. The second thing you got to know is know their world. When I say know their world, it's about knowing, things like who's their favorite sports team, what's their favorite cuisine, know about their family members, know about their children, know about what's going on in their life besides work. And I think this is very important, because once you start to know their world and you take the time to know about their world, the message you're giving to your team member is that, hey, you know what, I'm interested in all about you, not just what you're supposed to do and your deliverables and those items. And that's a very important message to give to your employees and your team members, that you are interested in them. The third thing that you got to know is you got to know their goals. Why do they come to work every day? Right? Is it just to complete the presentation, to see through the project, to make the sale? Well, those may be deliverables, but what is the larger desire for them to come to work? What is their career ambitions, their aspirations? And as a leader, I think it's important for you to know that. And when you know that, you can actually support your team member in the pursuit of their goal and their ambition. And nothing gives more satisfaction, contentment, happiness to a team member when he or she realizes that my supervisor is interested in my progress. The fourth thing that you got to know, and in no particular order, is know how they are doing. And this question is very pertinent and relevant, especially in the times that we live in, right? The pandemic, the sickness, the hospitalizations, the tragic passing away of loved ones. In a time like this, I think it's very important not to just be so focused on transactions, which are important, but to know about how are they doing, how are they coping with this, how are they coping with it emotionally, how are they coping with, even if it's not the pandemic, right, their work, how are they coping with that, right? Just have a conversation around that. I think that's very important. And that by just saying that I'm available, because I want you to be doing well, and I want you to be feeling good about what you're doing, right? And I want to empathize with you. I want to see if there's a way I can assist you in coping with all the challenges that are going around. We live in a world where mental health is so important. But the number one caregiver for mental health, either positively or negatively, is the leader. Right? You don't need to actually delegate it out to a third party to take care of mental health of a team member. I think that there is room for that. There's a need for that. But if as a leader, if you and me are actually concerned about our team members, right? By just knowing how they are doing, you can actually provide a lot of support in this very important area. Another thing to know is to know if they need help. How can I help you? How can I assist you? Right? I think that is passing on a message saying that you're not just a resource, but you are human and you are important. And I am here not to just take from you as a leader, but I'm here to give. And therefore, tell me, how can I help you? And I would leave you the last one, which is really about know what they learned from their mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, but every mistake, like somebody said, is a learning opportunity. But very often, the natural response to a mistake is to just get on their case. Instead of getting on their case, if you can just ask them, hey, what did you learn from this presentation that didn't go right, or the project that didn't go well? What did you learn? And when you ask this question, I think you're doing a world of good for your team members, because then they begin to internalize and begin to process what they can do better next time. And that's the best thing that you can actually do. So I shared with you 6 things that you need to know as a leader. And when you know these things, right, you are really giving a lot of important messages to your team members. A message that you care, a message that they are important, a message that you are interested, a message that you are here to assist them, a message that you are there to develop them for them to achieve their goals, a message that you are there to coach them. And this, friends, is how you can actually create intrinsic happiness. Somebody beautifully said this, that when you value your people, it's then they will create value for you. When you value your people, it's then that they would automatically create value for you. So thank you for watching Leadership Vocabulary. And I want to wish you the best as you go out there as a leader. You are empowered to make sure that your team members are intrinsically happy. I would recommend that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. You'll find useful content on leadership as well as on faith.